Good evening, and thank you for joining us here for the Meridian Branch Count Me In meeting. Just want to let you all know that this is an open meeting, and we have all sorts of people listening. There are non-members, possibly people from BT and OpenReach listening as well. So just be mindful of any questions that you may have. So first of all, I want to let you know who we have on the call. We have Dave Booker, the branch secretary for the Meridian branch. And we also have Tracy Fussy and Dave T from the NEC from headquarters as well. I'm going to pass it over to Dave Booker to introduce the part of the meeting. Thank you, Dave.
Cheers, Martin. I hope my audio is better than yours. It's very, very squeaky. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. I can still hear feedback. I don't know if that's coming from you, Martin. Mute yourself if it is. Yeah, it's the first time we've done anything like this on this little scale. I think it does seem to get that squeak as well. I don't know where that's coming from. Let's try again. That's helped. Yes, so start again. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks to our executive members as well, and big thanks as well to APQ for sorting out the technology and getting this going live everywhere. Yeah, ordinarily it's strange times, and ordinarily we'd be sitting in a big room having a chat and shouting and hollering and banging tables, but we can't do that, and at the moment, and in a way, I suppose at least we're able to get out to members that wouldn't ordinarily be able to get to those meetings anyway, and you'll have a chance to ask questions and find out what's going on. I mean, it's today, correct me if I'm wrong, executive people, but today is the first full day of a national sort of event, if you like, where we've all branches have been doing something for the Count Me In campaign, which I know Tracy will give you a little bit of an overview on in a minute. But yeah, so Martin and I have been up since silly o'clock meeting with members, but it's been really, really good, and we've had really good responses, loads of photo opportunities for people showing their support for Count Me In, and long may that go on. And you will have all received in the post the posters, a little I think they're sort of, no, was it A3 size posters? We sent them out to all members. Now if you get a chance, send us in your photos holding them up. If you want to remain anonymous, that's great. That's fine. You can even wear a mask or put the poster up above your head or whatever. But it's great to just show. It'll show in numbers to the powers that be just how strong the support is out there for the campaign, and that'll be really useful. We've had loads and loads today, which we tweeted and put out there on social media. So if you have got that connection on Twitter or wherever, you'll be able to see all of those. So yeah, it's basically, this meeting is going to be over to you, really, you know, what you want to know about it, but I'm not going to waffle on too much. I think that we'll hand over to Tracy in a sec to give you the overview, and then any questions, we've got Dave here, so he's going to answer, I think, any questions specifically on consumer. So if there are a lot of consumer members on and you've got specific ones on that, Dave, that's the guy to answer those questions. But for now, I'll hand to Tracy, and thanks, Martin. Sort that mic out.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks, Martin. And firstly, I just want to thank the branch for inviting both Dave and myself on this evening to talk to you, because these are critical times, and it is really important that we do start to be talking to members and getting the message across of how difficult and how different the landscape is across BT as we sit here today. So thank you for the invite, and I know there's a lot of members watching this evening, so that's really great as well. So, you know, really important. We have started campaigning. There has been campaigning across the country. In the northwest last week, and a couple of weeks before that, there's been some days of activity raising the profile of the Count Me In the campaign, which obviously the CWU have been progressing with for a number of weeks now. So today I know there's been activity centred in the southeast across the 3 telecoms branches, and looking at what's out on social media, it seems to me that there's a high volume of CWU members showing solidarity with the campaign and standing by exactly all the reasons why the campaign was launched in the first place. So this evening really is an opportunity for us to update you all on the industrial issues that we're now facing within BT Group. And I think most of you should have been briefed and received communications from the branch and from us nationally on what those challenges are. So I want to just really ask us to bring you up to date this evening, take that opportunity to talk to you, but also more so, we're really keen to understand what you're thinking, what your thoughts are, and what you see as, you know, perhaps the direction we need to move in the campaign as well. And what, you know, you'll have lots of questions, I'm sure, on what's going to affect you moving forward. But as I said, this is a very, very different landscape within BT that we're now facing. And for those of you who've been employed with BT and been familiar with how we've dealt with BT and the issues that have arisen in BT over many years, we generally have managed to find a negotiating direction and achieve outcomes as a consequence. But I think it's fair to say that the company is very different. There's been many changes in terms of the direction of where the company's going. And certainly in the last 12 months, it's heading in a different direction that is undoubtedly going to cause many issues industrially for us in a number of fronts. And it's cutting right across the company, from enterprise, consumer, open reach, technology, group functions. There's not a single area of BT that this is not going to touch. It's touched some earlier than others. I know in the southeast we've had one redundancy. In the southeast, it was the very first compulsory redundancy within BT. So that's very, very close to, obviously, you know, where we're sitting. That, you know, it's you know, I guess virtually in the south at the moment. So, you know, this is real. The compulsory redundancy situation is something completely new. You know, we're faced with it and we're going to have to deal with it, and we are dealing with it in all the different CFUs that we've got and the teams that we've got that face up to and talk to the, you know, the company in those teams. So you'll be aware that we have got a compulsory redundancy programme that's kicked off in enterprise. There's consultation also progressing in technology, where many members are facing a redundancy situation. Certainly in technology, there was a call with members yesterday, and there may be members within the southeast within this branch are affected and may have participated in that call. We're doing everything we can to mitigate the compulsory redundancy situation, and by that I know that the team have proposed a job swap process that will enable them to try to mitigate compulsory redundancies and allow people to leave BT that you know, want to leave, and keep those in employment that don't. And I know that the team are working hard on that piece of work, and hopefully with some success in there. But I do know, unfortunately, that that is not going to save everybody from, you know, from being dismissed, and that's the reality of the situation. But we're certainly making some progress from where we were. We've got enormous problems across the company. As I said, we've got issues in enterprise to do with grading, where we've had nothing but chaos and confusion in terms of sorting grading out across the whole of that division. We've got site strategy challenges as a consequence of the Better Workplace programme, which I'll come to a little bit later, that is affecting all the areas once again, in a very disjointed manner. So we obviously, you'll understand that there's been announcements from the company in terms of the future of the BT estate and key sites that they're looking to focus on. But what we're getting is almost a trickling of information in a very disjointed way from different areas of the company. And we're having to piece together what looks like the sites and the locations that are long-term, certainly in BT's plans. So it's completely disjointed. We've got in consumer, and Dave will talk about this later, we've got issues around career progression. Once again, site strategy, T's and C's, which is terms and conditions, which cuts across everybody once again. There's issues in EE, and so on and so forth. In group functions, we've got 4 separate functions that have now got the notice of compulsory redundancies and the movement of the potential of those. And that's against the backdrop of some of that work actually going to be done offshore, which obviously is not palatable to the CWU. And the team are, I will say, vociferously fighting that in terms of providing mitigation to make sure that work stays in the UK, you know, for our members who are currently performing those functions. So it's a very, very difficult set of discussions at the moment, and those are still ongoing. Within Openreach, there's once again location strategy issues, which is, you know, affect many of our members. You'll realise that we've had a consultative ballot as well, which was highly successful in terms of the result of that, which shows exactly what our members feel in terms of the changes that are being moved forward on by BT, and you know, and lots of challenges there. So we've got, I think, to set the landscape, we've got some major challenges on every front. In terms of, you know, the way that we've normally done business with the company in terms of consultation. We've got the challenges of the compulsory redundancy situation, which certainly isn't going away, and I don't want any of the members to think that, you know, that this isn't something that isn't going to happen. It certainly is going to happen. And then we've got the spectre of what the Better Workplace programme looks like moving forward, which is BT's 3 to 5 year programme of rationalising the estate, and it was a number of months ago that they did detail a number of key locations that they were going to focus on, and those have been announced. We've got it's out in the media, but we've got Bristol. Obviously, there's a change to BT's headquarters in London in terms of moving that. Cardiff, Edinburgh, Manchester. There's quite a few of them. And of course Ipswich. So there's confirmation of where they're going to stay. The problem is we haven't got the detail yet of where they're looking to pull out of. And of course, moving from what is 300 buildings, sites, into 30 as what was detailed will mean massive changes for our members who work in those locations, some of them fairly remote. And that's against the background of challenges and changes proposed in terms of you know, what that will mean for people's ability to travel to those locations, you know, in what is reasonable. So it's a massive programme. We've seen the announced closure of Aberdeen a few weeks ago, which is sort of the first one that's going to affect our members, and there will be many more to come moving forwards. So I know that there's concerns in the southeast about the future of Canterbury. I'd be surprised if there aren't questions around that, you know, later this evening. And we haven't as yet, you know, got commitment from, you know, various divisions in BT as what the landscape of what those buildings all look like. We haven't got all the detail in yet, and I know that it's extremely worrying and concerning for our members who are, you know, trying to see clarity about the future, you know, in terms of job security, because that is really what we as a trade union are, you know, are seeking to do, you know, and to maintain and maximise jobs here as well in the UK. We, you know, absolutely protecting our focuses and protecting your T's and C's, you know, and all of that you would expect for us to be doing. And I think that probably leads us to why are we looking to campaign. We're campaigning at the same time as negotiating with the company. We've got an approach that we're going to negotiate. We're going to obviously try to resolve this, because that's the better way to go forward. But I think you'll all understand that there does come a point in time that if those negotiations don't achieve what we need and what you, the members, are telling us, you know, we're going to have to review exactly, you know, what we do and where that moves to. So we are campaigning. We're raising, I think, the knowledge of the challenge that we face with the membership at the moment. We're trying to get the message out there to all our members that basically, you know, what's happening. And I know people sit in certain divisions within BT, and very often you feel, well, it's a big company and, you know, it's not going to affect me. I think in this instance, we all realise that this is, you know, this is the moment that has to bring every single BT employee together. It has to unite every single one of us. The changes are massive that the company are proposing. They are huge, and I can't over sell that one. You know, they're going to be massive. They're going to be they are going to touch us all, and they're going to touch all our colleagues as well. So that is why we're campaigning, because we need to get the members yourselves to understand exactly, you know, where this is at the moment and where this is likely to get to if we don't resolve through negotiation and get what we need in terms of all those things, in terms of our objectives. So your branch have been working massively hard, and you know, as Dave said, you've been out today in various locations talking to members, and I know that lots of members from your branch, Meridian branch, have signed up and into the Count Me In campaign, and that is really important that you do that, because this is a fight. It's going to be a fight of our lives against BT to protect exactly what we've got and to maximise the very best moving forwards. And we do need every single member to come and join us, and you know, we will I'm sure be counting on you more in the future, you know, to do that. So I'll just kind of set the scene with that. Dave, I don't know if you wanted to come in and add anything there. I think you might be mic'd.
Thank you for that. I guess I'm here to offer a consumer perspective, and I think that you've got consumer members in your branch, and you've got a consumer a site in Canterbury, and I guess it's important that consumer members understand the changes that BT are introducing are going to affect everybody. Whether it be the site strategy, and obviously I know that's close to the hearts of members in Canterbury, the site strategy, which we're unclear what the consumer approach to their site strategy is. We're trying to find out, but we can't actually get details of it, and it would be extremely helpful if we could. But really, it's about consumer is trying to de-skill its workforce. It's introduced an unagreed set of terms and conditions at lower rates of pay, and those have been introduced without agreement with us. And it's really that's the future if you work in consumer, whether you work in E or even PlusNet. So the future for members in consumer, it doesn't look good at the moment. The reduction in wages, the de-skilling of the workforce, and I'm sure there are many more changes to come. So, I mean, I can answer some questions on consumer going forwards, but it's really important for consumer members to understand how they can be counted into this campaign, because you've only got to look at the site strategy, and in a very short space of time, some members could be looking at their sites being closed. And we can talk more about the Better Workplace programme, can't we, Tracy? But really, it's from a consumer perspective I'm here today. So I'd like to hear what members have got to say in terms of the questions they want answered.
Thank you, Dave. We have got some questions. We've got some questions from some of our local members as well. I just want to first off, there's 295 of you at the moment watching this. I want to thank you for all your support. So we'll carry on this evening. So let's have a look. Let's go for the members' questions. We've got some here. Should members join the union now, or non-members join the union now, is one of the questions that we've been asked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, if you're not in the union, and you know, I don't know if we've got any non-union members watching tonight, but look, if you're not in the union, this is the time to join. You know, undeniably, why wouldn't you? You know, this the same as all our members are facing. This is going to affect everybody, and we need everybody who works for BT Group to be united with us. So, yeah, absolutely, you absolutely need to be in the union. We need you, and you need us.
Sorry about that. That was my cat. I do apologise. Can I just come in on that as well? I just wanted to respond in terms of a membership. We do have, as we've prided ourselves as a union, in maintaining very, very high levels of membership out there. I think it's been key as to how we've been able to deliver agreements in the past, and we've done that with the volume of members that we've got in the union. But now more than ever, of course, we need those members to actually help us to deal with some of the changes that are coming and how we can fight against those changes. So I would say, if there are non-members watching this, you need to join us so that we can fight and stand up to BT and what they're doing to us.
Thank you. We have a question from Michelle, who's in Canterbury. She says, "What's happening to the Canterbury call centre?"
Right. Okay. I think Dave and I'll probably have a response on this one. Look, Canterbury call centre, there's been speculation over the call centre in Canterbury in terms of its longevity, in terms of operation. It's primarily housed by consumer, which Dave sits on the consumer team, so he'll, I'm sure, want to come in and provide some more detail around that. Nothing has been said about Canterbury at all in terms of any formal communication. It isn't on any of the confirmed location list that we've been provided with and that's been shared at the moment that's out there from BT. So it hasn't been noted or listed, and that, by the way, is the same for many other locations and sites within the company at the moment. So it's not standing out alone, but there isn't any commitment at the moment that's been given from the company to maintain a presence in Canterbury. And I know, because I've been working with the branch for quite a long time, the stress and the worry that brings in terms of obviously people's concerns about, you know, long-term working for the company, in terms of employment, and you know, the anxiety that brings as a consequence, and it absolutely is a major concern, and we are aware of it at head office as well in terms of what that looks like, and also what opportunities, you know, lie in the location, the vicinity, in terms of other opportunities if anything was to happen to Canterbury, you know. So we are looking at all of that, you know, and you know, we're fully aware of that. All I can say is that, you know, as soon as we get any notification, we share it with you, and we will do that. And your branch are very, very quick at letting us know and keeping us informed of all the issues that are arising on this, which is really important. And it's really important that you speak to your branch and you keep your branch informed. You need to be their eyes and their ears at every opportunity. And I would say, don't assume that we know, or your local branch know what's going on sometimes in terms of local things happening. So, you know, keep in contact with them.
Thank you. We got a question from Carol Husk. Said major concerns in Canterbury regards possible closures. Managers are leaving in droves. 15% of advisors did not get their choice of duties in the team-based scheduling, so being forced to do hours that we did not request. So I'd imagine I'll throw that over to Dave, I suppose, for that one.
Well, I'll answer the first bit, and the question's just disappeared. So the first bit was about the future of Canterbury, wasn't it? Yeah. And I think I just want to echo Tracy's comments. I think we and the members want BT to be open and BT to be open and transparent about what they're doing. Our members have got futures and livelihoods, and they want to know, be able to make plans. And without the company being open and transparent about what it's doing and its site strategy, it makes it incredibly difficult for our members to plan into the future. So I don't think it's the way BT should be open and honest. And we've been trying to get a consumer to be transparent about their site strategy, as I said earlier on. And at this moment, we're failing to do that. What I would do is encourage your members to do what they've been doing, which is to keep asking the questions and keep putting the pressure on locally to get answers to their questions. In terms of team-based scheduling and 15% of members not getting their shifts, the difficulty with team-based scheduling was that the problem was that not everybody was going to get a shift that they wanted. Not everybody was going to get their first preference. The difficulty we had when the company came to us with proposals about team-based scheduling, we had to do a significant amount of work and negotiating with the company to get to where we got to, because some of the initial proposals would clearly have meant a lot more members being dissatisfied and unhappy with their shifts. And I'm sorry if there are members who didn't get their shifts, but we do know that when in some areas, when members were asked to forego the notice, because there's a built-in notice period of 10 weeks for members before they go onto the shifts, there were thousands of members who actually waived their notice and went early because they wanted to get onto the shift. So I appreciate it doesn't suit everybody. I accept that. And what we were trying to do was actually sort of deal with the proposals that the company put to us. If you find yourself with a pattern that you really can't work, you need to speak to the local branch about it and see what can be done to make changes. And I know there's another question possibly coming up on that, but you need to speak to the local branch and your local representative and see what can be done. And if they're unable to achieve something, then they can escalate it to us nationally. We can deal with it that way. I hope that helps. It's not going to give an answer, direct answer to the question. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Dave. Had a question in: will we ballot the whole of BT Group or section? So, Tracy.
Yeah, I'll pick that up. Yeah. Look, we're doing our best at the moment to work our way through this. So I'll come to the answer in a minute. But this is, as I said, the most challenging situation that I think most of us have felt within the BT Group employees for a very, very long time, if not ever. So we're going to seek to try to resolve this through negotiation. We are aware that there are certainly areas in BT where we've got immediately direct challenges at the moment in terms of effects upon our membership. And as I said, I've already explained that in enterprise we've had compulsory redundancies. We've got consultation at the moment progressing in terms of technology, and we've had a consultative ballot in Openreach as well. We will make a decision, and there will be a decision at the right time when we feel that we're not going to get what we need in terms of satisfaction in our objectives and for the membership. So we will look at the whole picture across the whole of the company and make a decision that will obviously work the way that we need it to do so. So that hasn't been decided yet, but we will be sharing that thinking with you as we move forward. And we're very conscious, and we've had quite a lot of communication from members that they're very keen to be balloted. That they are very keen for us to progress. And of course, we've got to do our very best to make sure that we deal with that in a responsible way and at the right moment as well.
Let's have a look here. My mic is muted. Oh, there we go. Got another question from Carol. Carol Husk said, "What was the criteria for who had their first choice and who did not?"
I feel like me and Carol ought to have we should perhaps I should speak to Carol. It might be easier because she's going to keep asking me questions, and that's fine because. The criteria for the first choice and who did not. I'll be honest, I'm not going to be able to answer that straight away because I'd have to go back to the agreement and see how it was done. There was a method that we agreed with the company. I think we provided all those details in the agreement, which the branch should have circulated to their members. But I'm happy. I'm assuming that Carol's a member of your branch. Is that right? Yeah, she is. I'm happy if she would like to write. If you can give her my email address, I'm quite happy to talk to her about her particular case. I think it would be important for the branch though to pick it up and see what the particular issue is, and then if that can't be resolved, then we could pick it up nationally for her.
Thank you, Dave. We'll pick that up and take that up. Got another question from Claire McCulloch. She says, "What's happening with BT trying to reduce the redundancy payment from 2 years down to 1 year?" Tracy, I believe.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, I mean we've communicated this out there, and this is just one of the areas that we've got in conflict with the company at the moment, where they're certainly undermining key agreements, key industrial agreements that we've got, and obviously this is part of what was opened up in terms of the pension agreement, which wasn't agreed so long ago. So yes, this is the case. We are in discussions with the company over that. I think it's hardly surprising, or not. It wouldn't be surprising to you that the reason that they would be seeking to do that would be quite clearly the level of redundancies that they're seeking to make across the company and pay lesser terms as a consequence in terms of, I guess, mitigating the cost to them. So you realise that that act itself is a major indication of how the company think, how the company believe in that they need to deal with resourcing and redundancies moving forward. So all I can say is we will be in contact with you. It is there at the moment. We've briefed it out, and we've got a fight on our hands, like I said.
Thank you, Tracy. So we have another question from Michelle. people transferred to from Manpower to BT not long ago. What rights do they have? Says I will not be there in 2 years until March 2021. So Dave.
Oh, thank you. Right. Yeah, the problem is the question disappears. So it's quite a long question.
There you go.
Thank you. That's great. As far as I understand it, when you join BT from Manpower, that's your service began on that day. So your rights would obviously you'd have to have 2 years. 2 years before you get full employment rights. There are certain day one rights that you get regardless. I think on discrimination and such. Somebody will tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I think you get certain day one rights. But for full employment rights, you'd have to be here for 2 years. However, the agreement that we currently have that would be on that redundancy would apply to you from day one, as I understand it. And any future agreement would apply from day one, whatever that would be. But in terms of, I guess you're asking the question is because you think the future is, you're not sure what the future is. And I guess from our point of view, we're not sure what the future is either. And that's why we're taking the company on, because they're creating so much doubt and fear and insecurity that we need to establish something solid and concrete for our members in the future. And that's the problem. Members are asking those sorts of questions because they're not sure what the future is. And I think it's vital that we as members and the union fight the company to get that level of security back. I'm hoping the company, BT, doesn't want its employees to feel insecure, but that's in fact what they're delivering at this very moment.
I think you're on mute again, Martin. Mute. There's another question popped up.
There we go.
Another question's popped up on the screen.
Okay, so what's happening with BT trying to reduce the redundancy payment from 2 years down to 1 year?
Well, that's probably, Martin, the question just before last. It was the same question from previous.
Yeah, what is the branch doing to promote the campaign? So, well, we can do that. We can tell you we've been out to the TECs. We've also been handing out stuff that people can see. I mean, you were all sent by email. Sorry, not by email, by post. These posters. So if you got those, I know it's probably the wrong way round on here. You all sent a poster. And what we've been asking, if you take a photograph, of yourself. And what we want to do is post those pictures, and that we'll then put those pictures up and show the management that we are, we're in solidarity, working together, and we're not happy. We have to be able to do that. So as many people as possible, if you've got those posters, whether it's the pink one or the white one, take a photograph of yourself with the photo, send it in to us. We'll post that on WhatsApp, Instagram, and we'll tweet that as well. So wherever else you can do it, we'll do that. Now,
Martin, could I just come in on that?
Yeah, certainly. Dave Booker.
Yeah, just because it's about what the branch do. So, yeah, I mean, we've been since the campaign started, we've ensured that every bit of info that's come out from HQ has gone up on social media. So if you've not already linked in with us on either Facebook or Twitter, and now Instagram, which is brand new, Martin set up, I'd recommend that you do so. I mean, we also put everything up on the website, the CWUmeridian.org.uk. So all the company and stuff's gone up on there. As Martin said, we have done mail outs to all members. If for any reason you've not received that, please get in touch with the branch, because it may mean that we've got a wrong address for you. But yeah, we sent stuff out, and then today, as we started off with the national campaign, we've got loads of bits and pieces that we've been giving away. We've got little sanitizer gels, and we've got lanyards like this, and we've got face masks like that. I just happen to have all this ready. Wait, we've got badges, we've got travel mugs, things like that. Everything to promote the campaign and to get people talking. So, you know, that's what we're doing at the moment, and we will be seeing more people, going out to see people, and obviously you can get in contact with us and let us know. But we'll do more of these events as well, hopefully. So that was just, I just wanted to touch on that.
Do we have any more? Do we have any more questions? Let's have a look.
I did see a couple earlier on, Martin. Do you want me to? I did make a note. If you want to bear with me, I can.
There's one come up on the screen. Carol Husker again. Dave, I'll do this one first.
Do that
Carol?
one first,
yeah. Do you think strike action would be appropriate now so we can show BT that this is not acceptable?
Oh, did you want me to answer that?
Yeah, go on. Yes, please,
yeah,
Dave.
Absolutely. Okay. I think strike action should be used when we know we're going to win, when we're ready, right? I think strike action it's vital that the company knows that if we call a ballot for strike action, that they know that we mean business and that we're going to win. At this moment in time, there are a number of different strands to this campaign. We're pulling them together in the Count Me In campaign, and the aim of this campaign is that if BT, if we can't resolve this through negotiation, and I think we've made that very clear to the company, if we can't resolve this through negotiation, it will leave us with little option. But clearly we want to avoid that. Our aim is to achieve a negotiated solution to some of this. But there are so many things happening at the moment, and there are so many attacks on members and on the CWU. It's making it very, very difficult for us. So I think we want to avoid industrial action. I mean, it's not something. Industrial action is not something that the union enters into lightly, and clearly it's very difficult to do that under the current legislation. So we want to make absolutely sure that if we go into an industrial action ballot, we're going to win. I think that's key, that we get all the members behind us. You talk to members, you make it clear to your managers that if the union asked you to vote for industrial action, that you would be doing so. I think it's very important that you make that absolutely clear to managers that you speak to and fellow members, and actually even non-members, and talk to them about it and about joining the union so that they can join in the fight.
I think, Dave, I'll just jump on the back of what you've just answered there as well. Look, do we think we'd win a strike ballot? Given the challenges that we face and what's been communicated and what we've shared and what is out there in the public arena, if we can't win a strike ballot on this occasion, we've got problems. We have to win that strike ballot. I believe that we would do. I believe we would do, because when it is called, and if it's called, our members would absolutely understand what the future looks like in BT, and that is a very, very worrying future. So, our responsibility, all the branches' responsibility is to get that messaging out there. We've got to be absolutely clear on it. We need to make sure every single member, and this is where you as members are also very important, you need to get the message across to your colleagues at what this is, what this looks like, and what this challenge is up, because we're not going to be able to do it without you. This is about every single member, every branch, every representative who's in this company, standing up, standing together, and letting the company know that there's absolutely no way that they're going to move forward with all these changes, all these different programs, and that we're gonna just not fight it, because that is not palatable. It's not achievable. We're going to be in a horrific mess afterwards if that's the case. So we have to win it, and I'm absolutely certain, given what's out there and what BT are doing, and how much they are attacking employees in every shape and form, in every direction, I don't think there'll be a single employee, a member out there that would not see that that's what we need to do if the company don't start to listen to us.
Thank you, Tracy. We've been asked a question, can we get this into the media?
Right, well, I'll answer that. I mean, look, we're starting the campaign. We're obviously upping the ante in terms of the communications that we're doing, the activities with members. We're getting a lot of communications from members asking what they can do, which is fantastic, because, like I said, if it isn't for the members, we've got some real challenges ahead. I think you'll see as we move forward that the campaign will start to touch a number of fronts that we probably haven't done already, both politically you know, in terms of what that brings, and also, you know, that will include media. We're trying to use social media as much as we can at the present moment to spread the word, you know, and you know, there's lots of tools at our hands in terms of driving this campaign forward and upping the ante. And if BT don't start to listen to our negotiators in terms of, you know, all of these things, then that's obviously where we're going to have to go. And the media will be a key player in that, without a doubt.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to ask everybody for their final thoughts tonight, and I'll start off with Dave. If you'd like to give us your thoughts on where we are at the moment, Dave.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I think what I was going to say is, I'm going to repeat some of what I said, but I think it's absolutely vital that members talk to non-members, but members speak to local management about what they feel about what's going on. I think if you have meetings with managers, team meetings, if you have huddles, wherever, you take every opportunity to express how you're feeling. I mean, the question about insecurity, I think, is key, because members don't know what the future is going to bring. Working for BT a number of years ago used to be a long-term, secure employment. And members are not looking at it this way. And that's what BT is doing now. It's making members feel vulnerable and insecure. And this is a global company that employs thousands and thousands of people. And it could be taking a better approach to the changes it wants to make. It could be including its staff and taking them with them along the journey, on that journey. But at the moment, they're not doing that. They're not telling us what's going on with the site strategy. They're not telling us what's going on with future employment, and it's making members feel insecure. And we have to, as a union, our job as a union has been to protect terms and conditions and protect members' jobs. And that's what we've tried to do for years and years and years. And I think it's important, vitally, that members make their voices heard to management. We have the question about the media. For me, it's just as important that members actually make their feelings known. And be absolutely clear that in telling their manager and their fellow members at work that they make that absolutely clear what's going on. So hopefully after tonight there'll be more members that will be aware of the campaign. And I wish everybody a good evening.
Thank you, David. Tracy, can I go back to you? Final thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Look, my final thoughts of this is that, you know, this is the time that every single one of you needs to join together. I've said that, and I'll keep saying it, because this will be won purely on the solidarity and you know, and the collectivism that comes from being part of the trade union movement. You know, the CWU is a very, very strong union. It's well organised. You know, we have multiple different platforms and abilities to reach out and deliver what we need to do so. Clearly, we need to make BT realise that is what we're capable of, and you know, moving forwards, we'll have to see whether they're going to take notice of us in a sensible way. But I think it's important to remember that BT is a hugely profitable company. Revenues 22-point-something billion. So look, this is still a profitable company, and we don't believe that the measures and the direction, the strategies that they're moving forward on are appropriate, they're necessary, and we're not convinced either that the redundancy situations are legitimate or necessary. So I would ask you to, you know, stay connected with your local branch, stay connected with everything that the CWU sends you nationally. You know, participate where you can. The branch will certainly be coming to you, you know, to assist them, to be part of different events moving forward. And we would ask you that, you know, you'd continue to do that like you have tonight in terms of viewing this and the activities that's taken place today. It's going to be, I think, a challenging period of time moving forward. It's not going to be something that's going to be resolved quickly. So in terms of stamina and standing together, you know, you're going to be in it for the long haul, yeah, because that's the way it's going to be quite clearly. But we'd ask you to stay with us because it's vitally important that you do. I say we're not going to get a second chance at this one. So, you know, and thank you obviously for tuning in this evening. It's important for your branch that, you know, that members did do so, and thank you for that.
Thank you, Tracy. Dave Booker.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah. First of all, thanks to Tracy and Dave again for taking time out to do this session. And thanks again to Chris up at HQ for putting it all together for us. Much appreciated. There was a question right at the beginning that I don't know if we missed out, but I think it's worth just touching on again at the end. And it was, are there any of us who are safe from BT's plan? A simple answer is no. There is no one safe. We can see it in you know, you may only obviously have contacts in your own departments at the moment, but we see the bigger picture from all departments, because we have people sort of, you know, scattered around, and everywhere is being hit, everywhere is being pressured, and everywhere they're coming for us from all angles, and no one is safe. So, you know, and harping on some of the questions about, you know, should the junior union that? Yes, absolutely. We should all, you know, be making sure that our colleagues are signed up to the union, and that we fight this, you know, together. And yeah, there is power, you know, strength in numbers, and you know, so we need to do that. Massive thanks to all of you that have taken the time out again in your evening to field questions to us, and we got over 1,000. Is absolutely marvelous considering the branch of our size. I'm so pleased that, you know, that you've done that and taken the time out, and it is really appreciated, and it just shows that this is worth doing, and we will do it again. There is time yet if you want to quickly put a question or two in, because we did sort of schedule an hour, but if you do it, you'll have to do it now, because after I finish, Martin will be wrapping up. So unless you do it now, you're going to miss out. But yeah, just on the local stuff as well, you can be assured that we're going to be getting things out as soon as they come out to us. We'll be doing things. There is a date for your diaries, and it's coming up very soon. So look out for the 1st of October. So it's going to be happening again. We're going to be doing more. So, you know, get prepared to come and help out. Come and see us, even if it's just to say hello. And yeah, just had a reminder. And just put something up, and I'm going to read this out from Anne Nicholson. So don't forget to remind managers how effective and hard-working BT employees have been during the previous months. That's absolutely right. I mean, 1 minute we're key workers, and I think someone said this on another call recently. 1 minute we're key workers, the next minute, you know, we're undervalued and we can just go. We can just get rid of us. You know, it's not as simple as that. It can't be like that, and we shouldn't allow that to happen. It's absolutely disgraceful the way people are being treated. Particularly, you look at the people in Aberdeen and it's just absolutely horrendous. So yeah, again, thank you once more for your support. Come and get some goodies off us. Hop into the branch, ring us up. I'll email Carol so she can have one-to-one chats with Dave on a regular basis, and I should do that. Carol, send that out. I've only got your BT email address, but I'll do is I'll just send you Dave's email address. So yeah, I'll do that fine. Right now. Okay. So yeah, thanks everyone. Pass over to Martin, and Martin, thank you very much. And it wasn't your mic; it was Tracy's at the beginning. So I apologise.
Dodgy
yeah, yeah, just
quickly. Dave's cat making a cameo appearance.
Yeah,
he's famous at last.
Quick mention: it's on Anne's post. She said about BT workers. It's not just BT workers. It's OpenReach workers. It's whatever line of business you are in. You have worked extremely hard, and we cannot thank you enough. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. As I say, we will be doing more of these, and we will be fielding your questions for you to help and get those answers for you if we can. I say we've had 1,000 views tonight. Please keep sharing this. It should be available for replay on the CWU website, and we'll be able to replay it on our YouTube channel that we have for the branch, plus our Facebook channel as well. Any questions, just email the branch, which you can find in your union diary. I think lastly, just want to say strange times that we're in at the moment. Please be safe and take care. And we will see you all soon. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Ciao.